If all you do is trade time for money, you'll always run out of both. A paycheck feeds the moment. A system feeds generations. You don't become wealthy by what you earn. You become wealthy by how you think. The poor chase paycheck. The wealthy build systems. The average person looks for opportunity. The wise person builds the conditions where opportunity is inevitable. It's not about hustling harder. It's about designing your life so wealth flows in your direction. That's the shift from effort to architecture, from survival to structure, from reaction to ritual. A ritual is just a habit with purpose. And wealth is just the result of purposeful habits practiced daily. Today, we're going to uncover those rituals. We'll learn what the wealthy do daily, mentally, financially, emotionally, to build a life most people only dream about. Not quick fixes, not magic tricks, just sound principles and repeatable strategies that shift you from paycheck thinking to wealthy thinking. And once your mindset shifts, your results follow. Because strategy, not salary, is what creates lasting freedom. Let's begin. Wealth begins in the mind before it ever arrives in the bank. That's the great secret, my friend. Long before the first dollar finds its way into your pocket, something deeper must take root, your thinking. If the mind doesn't shift, the money won't stick. It'll come and go like the seasons. But when you start thinking like an investor instead of a laborer, you build something far more lasting than income. You build a legacy. Let me tell you, the paycheck is a beautiful thing. It's honorable. It reflects your time, your skill, your commitment. But let me also tell you this. The paycheck is temporary. The paycheck is limited. It's tied to your hours, your energy, your presence. And if something happens to your time or your health, the income often stops. That's why wealthy people learn early to build strategy, because strategy keeps working long after the labor ends. I remember in my early days, I worked hard, diligently. I clocked in on time, stayed late, gave it everything I had. But no matter how hard I worked, I noticed something. The wealthy didn't necessarily work harder than I did. Some worked less, but they thought differently. They didn't just earn, they multiplied. They didn't just labor, they leveraged. While I was thinking about this week's rent, they were thinking about cash flow, assets, equity, same 24 hours, different approach. You see, the poor mind asks, how much can I make this week? The wealthy mind asks, what can I build that pays me for life? One thinks short term, the other long term. One depends on effort, the other on systems. And the best part, you don't need money to start thinking this way. You just need a shift in mindset. Start by asking better questions. What can I learn that will earn? What can I build once that will pay me over and over? That's how investors think. They think in systems, not shifts. They think in outcomes, not hours. And when you start asking those kinds of questions, your life begins to adjust around them. You begin to see opportunities you were blind to before. Your energy shifts from survival to strategy. Now, this doesn't mean you stop working hard. No. Work is noble. But combine your effort with vision. Combine your hustle with purpose. Otherwise, you'll spend your whole life climbing a ladder that was leaning against the wrong wall. Strategy helps you pick the right wall before you start the climb. So I say again, wealth begins in the mind. It's not about your current paycheck. It's about your thinking, your habits, your decisions. Begin now, right where you are, to adopt the mindset of someone building something bigger than today. Think like a builder. Think like an owner. Think like someone creating a legacy, not just earning a wage. The bank account will eventually reflect what the mind consistently believes. Because if you think like the rich before the money arrives, it won't be long before the money starts catching up. Discipline is the foundation of all financial success. That's the simple truth. And sometimes the simple truth is the hardest to accept. People are often looking for secrets, shortcuts, some hidden strategy that unlocks the vault. But let me tell you, the real vault opens with the key of discipline. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient, but daily. over and over. That's what builds wealth. I often say that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And the same is true with money. You don't need 10 radical changes. You need one small habit practiced consistently. That might be saving a little from every paycheck. That might be reading 10 pages of a financial book every night. That might be tracking your spending every week. The habit itself doesn't have to be monumental. It just has to be consistent, because consistency compounds. Now, I remember the first time I got serious about my finances. I wasn't making much, but I made a decision I was going to save a small percentage of everything I earned. Just a little. Even if it was $5, I saved it, I tracked it, I respected it. And it felt small at first, insignificant. But you know what happens with small things done faithfully? They grow. I looked up one day, and what used to be a trickle became a flow. It wasn't magic, it was discipline. You see, most people wait to get disciplined when the money arrives. But it doesn't work that way. You build the habit first, then the money comes. You don't get strong before going to the gym. You go to the gym to get strong. Same with money. Practice saving now. Practice restraint now. Practice self-control now. Because if you can't manage $100, you won't manage 10,000. It's not the amount that matters, it's the attitude. That's the difference between financial frustration and financial freedom. Not how much you earn, but how well you manage, how consistently you act. Discipline brings structure, and structure builds momentum. Momentum leads to progress. And before you know it, you're not just getting by, you're building a future. And I'll tell you something else. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It's telling yourself, I matter enough to prepare for tomorrow. It's saying, I won't eat all the seed, I'll plant some. Because that's what discipline is. It's seed planting. It's putting something in the ground today that you can't harvest yet, but you trust the process. And that trust, that repeated action, that's what makes all the difference. Most people live in reaction mode. They spend because they feel like it. They skip reading because it's boring. They ignore their budget because it's uncomfortable. But let me ask you, how comfortable is financial stress? How boring is being broke? See, discipline might feel like sacrifice in the short term, but it delivers peace in the long term. And that trade is worth it every single time. So my friend, if you're serious about building wealth, don't wait for a windfall. Build the discipline. Pick one small habit, saving, reading, tracking, anything, and do it daily. Do it when you feel like it and when you don't. Because discipline isn't about feeling, it's about decision. And if you master that decision, wealth won't just be possible, it'll be inevitable. Don't major in minor things. That little phrase has changed more lives than most full-length books. And yet, most people miss it. They spend their days wrapped up in activities that feel urgent but mean nothing in the long run. They master trivia but ignore strategy. They can name every movie star, quote every episode, scroll for hours, but ask them to sit down for 15 minutes with a book on money, and suddenly they're too tired, too busy, too distracted. That's what I mean when I say they're majoring in minor things. And I'll tell you, that was me once. I used to think entertainment was a reward for hard work. I didn't realize it had become my replacement for hard work. One day I looked at my life and thought, I know the starting lineup of 3 basketball teams, but I don't know the first thing about compounding interest. That hit me hard. Because it wasn't about basketball, it was about what I had chosen to prioritize. You've got to ask yourself, are the hours you spend each day building your future or just passing the time? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't enjoy life. Have your fun. But be careful you're not trading progress for distraction. You see, television, social media, scrolling, binge watching, they're all designed to entertain you, but not to advance you. And advancement is your responsibility. Now let's look at time. You can't make more of it. We all get the same 24 hours. But what separates the wealthy from the struggling isn't the amount of time, it's how that time is used. A wealthy person might use those hours to learn about investing, read about business, study markets, build skills. The struggling person may use the same hours watching reels, gossiping, flipping channels, or chasing the latest distraction. Same hours, wildly different outcomes. And it's not just about time, it's about energy. Where you give your focus, your energy follows. If your focus is always on the trivial, your life becomes trivial. If your focus is on growth, wealth, contribution, now you're building something meaningful. But you have to decide where that focus goes. Every day is a vote. A vote for the future you want or a vote for the one you'll regret. Let me give you something practical. Take just 15 minutes a day and invest it into learning about money. Just 15 minutes. Read a chapter, listen to a podcast, study a financial term. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But 15 minutes a day adds up to over 90 hours in a year. 90 hours of focused study in any field would make you dangerous in a good way. You could transform your entire financial destiny with what you'd learn in those 90 hours. But most people won't do it. Why? Because they're majoring in minor things. So here's the challenge. Start today. Audit your time. Ask, is this helping me build the life I want? If not, shift. Even a few minutes redirected each day can create massive results over time. And don't wait until it's urgent, because by then it's usually too late. Make the change while it's still a choice, not a crisis. You don't have to give up everything you enjoy. But if you want a different future, you do have to start prioritizing what matters. And wealth, my friend, is one of those things that only shows up for those who prepared a space for it. Don't spend your life decorating the space of mediocrity. Spend your time building the structure of success. It all starts by choosing to major in things that matter. One of the most important lessons I ever learned, and I want you to hear it clearly, is that you must work harder on yourself than you do on your job. It's easy to think that grinding longer hours or working harder for your paycheck is the path to wealth. But I can tell you from experience, that's only half the story. The other half the part most people overlook is investing in you. You see, wealth doesn't chase effort. It chases value. If all you're doing is putting in more hours, you're trading time for money, and time is limited. But when you develop yourself, grow your skills, sharpen your mindset, and build your character, you're increasing the value you bring to the marketplace. That's when income doesn't just grow, it multiplies. Let me share a little story from my early days. When I started out, I worked at a gas station, long shifts, hard work. But I realized very quickly that working harder at the pump wouldn't get me anywhere close to financial freedom. So I started investing in myself. I read books on personal development. I attended seminars. I practiced communication skills and built relationships. That growth changed my perspective, my confidence, and ultimately my earnings. I wasn't just a man pumping gas. I became a man who could influence, teach, and create opportunity. And this principle applies to everyone, no matter your current job or income. If you're a factory worker, grow your skills beyond the assembly line. If you're a teacher, learn how to turn your knowledge into consulting or coaching. If you're an entrepreneur, keep sharpening your business acumen, leadership, and financial literacy. Every minute you spend bettering yourself adds value to your market worth, and the market rewards value handsomely. It's important to understand that this growth isn't always comfortable. Growth means stepping out of your comfort zone, admitting what you don't know, and being willing to learn sometimes painfully. But that discomfort is your ticket to freedom. People who refuse to grow stay stuck in the paycheck hamster wheel, while those who invest in themselves find new doors opening. Here's something else. When you focus on self-improvement, you don't just increase your earning potential, you improve every area of your life. Your relationships deepen, your confidence builds, and your ability to handle challenges improves. Wealth is never just about money. It's about the quality of your life, and that begins inside you. Remember, the richest people I know didn't get wealthy by working longer hours. They got wealthy because they worked smarter by becoming more valuable. They read, listened, asked questions, sought mentors, and practiced discipline in their habits. So here's the action you need to take. Every day, spend time growing yourself. Read a book, listen to an educational podcast, take a course, practice a new skill, challenge your thinking. Make this your priority because your income is waiting on the other side of your growth. When you invest in yourself, the paycheck will follow, but more importantly, you'll create a life of true wealth. That's the real secret. It all starts with you. One thing I want to make perfectly clear is this. It's not what you earn that truly matters. It's what you keep and multiply. You can make $100,000 a year and still be broke. But if you take a smaller income and wisely turn part of it into capital, you'll build lasting wealth. The secret is not in how much money flows in, but in how much of that money you put to work for you. When I was starting out, my income was modest, sometimes barely enough to cover my expenses. But I learned early on that the road to wealth isn't paved by spending every dollar you make, but by saving a portion and turning it into capital. Capital is the seed that grows your money into more money. Imagine your income as the water flowing into a reservoir. If you let it all spill out immediately, there's no reservoir. But if you set aside a portion of that water to fill the reservoir, over time, you build a supply that can support you in dry seasons. Capital is your reservoir. It's the foundation of financial security and freedom. But turning income into capital takes discipline. It requires saying no to some of the wants and desires of today for the sake of the freedom you want tomorrow. When you decide to save and invest regularly, no matter how small the amount, you are creating a powerful force. You are turning your money into an engine that works for you whether you're awake or asleep. It's important to understand the difference between income and capital. Income is what you earn. Capital is what you own that produces income for you. Real wealth comes from owning assets, stocks, real estate, a business that generate income without your constant presence. The journey from paycheck to capital is the journey from working for money to having money work for you. Many people make the mistake of thinking their paycheck is the finish line. It's not. It's the starting point. You must turn part of what you earn into capital to begin building wealth. Start small if you must. I started with just a few dollars a week. Over time, those small contributions became investments. Those investments created passive income streams that grew exponentially. When you build capital, you build options. Options to quit the job you don't love. Options to take risks on your own business ideas. Options to create the life you want on your terms. Capital gives you freedom, not just financial freedom, but freedom of choice. Remember, wealth is a process. It's not a lottery ticket or a sudden windfall. It's the consistent decision to turn a portion of your income into capital and let it grow. It's about patience, discipline, and faith in the power of time and compounding. So today, make a commitment. No matter what your income is, decide to save a percentage and start turning that part of your income into capital. The money you keep and multiply will one day take care of you. And that's the real wealth worth pursuing. Turn your income into capital, and you'll begin to build a fortune that lasts. That's where the real financial freedom begins. Keeping a financial journal is one of the simplest yet most powerful habits you can develop on your journey to wealth. When I first started, I didn't have much money, but I did have a notebook and a pen. I used them to write down every dollar that came in and every dollar that went out. That discipline of tracking gave me clarity and control I didn't have before. You see, most people fly blind with their finances. They spend without knowing where their money actually goes, and they guess about their net worth or investments. But what you don't measure, you can't manage. The old saying is true. What gets measured improves. If you want to build wealth, you must first understand your financial landscape. That begins with tracking. A financial journal becomes your personal dashboard. It's where you record your income streams, your spending habits, your debts, and your investments. It's not about creating guilt or stress, but about gaining awareness. When you see your numbers in black and white, you're empowered to make better decisions. It's the difference between reacting to your finances and proactively managing them. When I began journaling, I discovered habits I needed to change small leaks that drained my resources, like daily coffee runs or impulsive purchases. At the same time, I celebrated milestones, a pay raise, a new client, or a smart investment growing steadily. This habit of recording was a way of holding myself accountable, but also motivating myself forward. Beyond just tracking spending, use your journal to write down your financial goals. Where do you want to be in 6 months, 1 year, or 10 years? Write down your plan and your progress. Revisit it often. This act of commitment to your own numbers creates focus and momentum. Financial journaling isn't complicated. It's a simple act of discipline that builds clarity, accountability, and control. When you track your financial life consistently, you'll find that opportunities become clearer and your path to wealth becomes more certain. This is a habit that turns financial chaos into financial confidence. Start today. Open a notebook, a spreadsheet, or an app, whatever works for you, and begin to write down your money story. Watch as your understanding grows, and with it, your wealth. Because what you track, you eventually master. Measure your money. Master your money. Let me tell you, one of the most powerful lessons I've learned over the years is this: money must work for you, not the other way around. Many people get trapped in the endless cycle of trading their time for dollars, showing up every day, clocking in hours, hoping to make enough to pay the bills. But true wealth comes when your money doesn't sleep, even when you do. Think about it. When you invest wisely, you create what I like to call money machines. Assets that generate income day and night. These machines can be stocks that pay dividends, rental properties that bring monthly checks, businesses that operate even when you're away, or skills that continue to open doors for new opportunities. This is the foundation of financial freedom. It doesn't matter if you're starting small. I remember when I first began investing, I didn't have a lot to put in, but what mattered was the habit, the consistent daily action toward growth. Whether it's $5, $50, or $500, starting to invest regularly is like planting seeds that will one day grow into a flourishing forest. The magic is in the compounding effect. Time turns those small daily investments into significant wealth. And it's not just money. Your skills and knowledge are assets too. When you learn a new skill or improve an existing one, that skill works for you in the background, opening doors, creating opportunities, and increasing your earning power even when you're resting. So don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect amount. Begin now. Find ways to put your money and yourself to work every single day. Automate investments if you can, so it happens without fail. Protect your goose that lays the golden eggs by being consistent and patient. The day will come when you'll wake up and realize your money was working harder than you ever did. That, my friends, is the freedom we all seek. Let your money be your silent partner in building the life you deserve. Remember, wealth is built while you sleep. Start planting those seeds today. In life, and especially in building wealth, there's a common trap that many fall into, mistaking activity for achievement. I've seen it too often. People running around, busy from morning till night, yet at the end of the day, they haven't moved an inch closer to their financial goals. Being busy is not the same as being productive. True achievement comes from focused effort on high-value activities. It's not about how many hours you clock or how many tasks you check off your list. It's about what those tasks produce. Are you creating value? Are you selling ideas, products, or services that solve problems? Are you investing time and money in opportunities that multiply your efforts? Let me share something from my own journey. When I first started, I thought working harder meant doing more, taking on every job, every project, every opportunity. But that busyness wore me out and scattered my focus. It was only when I began to concentrate on the activities that truly mattered, like learning to invest, building relationships, and creating multiple income streams, that my results shifted dramatically. The wealthy don't waste time chasing trivial tasks or distractions. They prioritize their day around the things that bring returns. Writing a business plan, making strategic calls, studying markets, or developing skills. They know that not every action moves the needle, and their discipline lies in choosing the right ones. So, today, I urge you to examine your daily schedule. Ask yourself, which activities are truly moving me closer to wealth? Which are just busy work? Cut out what doesn't serve your goals. Focus your energy on meaningful actions that create and multiply value. Remember, it's not how busy you are, it's how productive you are that builds wealth. Don't confuse motion for progress. Make your efforts count where it matters most. I want to share with you a simple but powerful habit that can transform your financial future. Reading just one page about wealth every single day. It sounds almost too easy, doesn't it? But let me tell you from experience, it's one of the most effective ways to grow your income and mindset over time. Think about it. A single idea, a new way of thinking, or a small strategy you discovered on that one page can plant a seed in your mind, one that can grow for years and multiply your wealth far beyond what a single paycheck can provide. Wealth is not built on luck or overnight success. It's built on consistent learning, and knowledge compounds like interest in a bank account. Early in my life, I realized that the most successful people I knew were relentless readers. They weren't just chasing money, they were chasing wisdom. They understood that money without knowledge is like a ship without a rudder. Reading daily about finance, investment, business, or personal growth sharpens your thinking and prepares you for opportunities others might miss. Don't get overwhelmed with the idea of reading whole books every day. Just a page is enough. It's manageable, it fits into your busy life, and it's sustainable. Over weeks, months, and years, these pages add up to profound transformation. If you commit to this small daily ritual, you'll find yourself thinking differently about money, spotting opportunities you never saw before, and making decisions that create wealth instead of debt. So, make this your daily habit. Read one page on wealth every day. Let knowledge be the foundation on which your financial success is built. Your future self will thank you. There's a saying that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. When it comes to wealth, this is not just a cliche, it's a fundamental truth. If you want to think like a millionaire and build lasting wealth, you must surround yourself with people who think beyond the paycheck. They think in terms of legacy, creation, and growth. Early in my journey, I found that spending time with people who only worried about the next payday kept me stuck in a cycle of scarcity. But when I began associating with investors, entrepreneurs, and builders, those who saw money as a tool to create and leave something behind, my entire perspective changed. Their mindset, their language, and their habits influenced my thinking in ways I never expected. Legacy-minded people think long-term. They're not just working for today or tomorrow, they're building something that will outlast them. They focus on assets, ownership, and systems that produce income while they sleep. They invest in relationships, knowledge, and opportunities that multiply wealth over generations. By surrounding yourself with such people, you absorb their habits and values without even realizing it. Their conversations challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward higher standards. It's like planting your feet on solid ground when the winds of doubt blow. If you want to shift your financial strategy, look at your circle. Who are you learning from? Who's shaping your beliefs about money? Choose your company wisely, for your wealth mindset will follow the wisdom of those closest to you. Seek out investors, creators, and builders. Learn from their stories, their struggles, and their successes. In their company, your strategy will grow sharper, your vision broader, and your confidence stronger. Wealth is as much about who you are with as it is about what you do. Surround yourself with legacy thinkers. Your financial future depends on it. There's a simple but powerful principle that separates those who accumulate wealth from those who remain trapped in financial struggle. the ability to practice delayed gratification. It's the art of resisting the urge to spend now for immediate pleasure and instead choosing to save or invest for a greater reward in the future. When I started my journey, I realized early on that every impulse purchase chipped away at the capital I could have grown. I used to admire those who lived lavishly, buying the latest gadgets or flashy cars, but I soon learned that what looks like success on the surface is often financial fragility underneath. The real success is in saying no to the short-term thrill in favor of long-term security. Imagine your money as seeds. If you plant them immediately in the ground and nurture them, they will grow into a tree that bears fruit for years to come. But if you consume those seeds right away, you lose the chance for future harvest. Every dollar you don't spend today is a dollar working for you tomorrow, compounding, multiplying, creating options. Delayed gratification is not easy. It requires discipline, patience, and a mindset that values the future over the moment. It means saying no to distractions and instant rewards so you can say yes to financial freedom later. When you train yourself to wait, to save, and to invest, you build an internal wealth muscle stronger than any paycheck. You become the master of your desires instead of a slave to them. And that control, that self-mastery, is the true foundation of lasting wealth. Practice delayed gratification every day, and you're planting seeds of security and abundance that will nourish your financial future for decades. This is not sacrifice. It is investment in your own freedom. Wealth is born in the discipline of waiting well. One simple question can transform the entire course of your financial life. Is this building equity or draining it? When you begin to ask yourself this daily, it changes the way you view every expense, every investment, and every financial decision. Early in my life, I learned the power of this question through experience. I used to spend freely on things that gave momentary pleasure but offered no lasting value, luxuries that faded quickly and debts that accumulated silently. It wasn't until I paused and asked myself whether my money was building something or merely vanishing that I started steering my finances in a new direction. Equity is more than just owning property. It's any asset that grows in value or generates income over time. It's the stock you hold, the business you build, or the skills you develop that increase your earning potential. Draining equity, on the other hand, is spending on liabilities, things that lose value or create ongoing expenses without return. By making this question a habit, you begin to distinguish between what adds to your net worth and what subtracts from it. It guides you towards smart choices, saving instead of spending, investing instead of consuming. Suddenly, your money becomes a tool for growth, not a ticket to fleeting pleasures. This mindset turns spending into an active strategy. Before you buy, invest, or even commit your time, ask yourself, is this action building my financial future, or is it draining resources I can't afford to lose? The answer will help you avoid traps, cut waste, and focus your energy on building wealth. Remember, wealth isn't an accident. It's the result of conscious, daily decisions. When you ask yourself this question regularly, you take control of your financial destiny and steer toward lasting prosperity. This is the power of self-awareness and intentionality in money matters. Make it your daily ritual and watch how your financial life transforms. Giving generously and wisely is more than just a financial act. It's a mindset that transforms your entire relationship with money. When you give, you send a powerful message to your subconscious mind. I have enough. This simple declaration shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, and that shift is the foundation of lasting wealth. Early in my journey, I learned this truth firsthand. I was hesitant to give when I didn't feel I had much to spare. But once I made giving a part of my financial routine, even if it was small at first, I noticed something remarkable. My anxiety about money lessened, opportunities increased, and my financial flow seemed freer. It wasn't magic, it was mindset. Giving creates a cycle where generosity opens the door for greater returns. But generosity must be wise. Giving blindly without purpose can drain resources, but giving with intention builds character, gratitude, and connection. It's about contributing in ways that align with your values and goals, whether that's supporting causes, mentoring others, or investing in relationships that matter. When your giving aligns with your financial strategy, it multiplies blessings on both sides. Remember, money is energy, and where energy flows, growth follows. Giving resets your mental balance, releasing fear and inviting abundance. It reinforces that money is not just for hoarding, but for sharing and growing. This habit cultivates a rich heart and a prosperous life. So don't just hold tightly to what you have. Open your hands and give generously and wisely. This simple act rewires your brain for wealth and opens channels you never expected. Giving is not a cost. It's an investment in your prosperity and peace of mind. Embrace it daily and watch how it reshapes your financial destiny. Turning consumption into creation is one of the most transformative shifts you can make on your path to wealth. It's a simple yet profound idea. If you find yourself consuming something, whether it's knowledge, products, or entertainment, ask yourself, can I also create, sell, or teach this? This question changes your role from a passive receiver to an active contributor, and that's where real wealth begins. I remember early in my career, I was eager to learn everything I could. Books, seminars, conversations. I consumed knowledge like a sponge. But it wasn't until I started sharing what I learned, teaching others, and creating content based on my experiences that my growth accelerated. Creating made the ideas mine. It turned my efforts into income and influence. Creation is the engine of wealth. When you only consume, your resources flow outward. When you create, you generate value that others want to pay for. Whether it's a product, a service, or sharing expertise, creation opens doors to profits and opportunities. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance because you realize you have something unique to offer. Selling and teaching amplify this process. They multiply your efforts, allowing you to leverage your time and skills. A single idea shared can reach thousands, creating streams of income that work even when you're not actively working. This principle applies everywhere. If you love reading about investing, why not teach beginners? If you enjoy certain hobbies or skills, why not package them into lessons or products? Don't just be a consumer of life, be a creator in life. So next time you find yourself consuming something, pause and ask, how can I turn this into creation? The wealth you seek is waiting on the other side of that question. Embrace creation and watch your financial and personal growth soar. Designing your future is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. Too many people drift through life reacting to circumstances, hoping things will get better without a clear plan. But wealth, true wealth, is not something that happens by accident or luck. It is the result of deliberate choices and intentional actions taken day after day. I've seen people come from nothing and build empires because they took control of their financial destiny. They didn't wait for the right time or the perfect opportunity. They set a clear direction and moved steadily toward it. This is the difference between those who accumulate wealth and those who accumulate excuses. Every day, you have a choice. Will you let your financial future be shaped by others, by chance, or by circumstance? Or will you design it yourself with purpose and clarity? The wealthy don't just dream about a better life, they plan for it, they write it down, and they take daily steps toward it. A simple habit that changed my own life was setting financial goals every morning. I asked myself, what am I doing today to move closer to financial independence? That question forced me out of passive thinking and into active creation. Designing your future means understanding where you want to go, breaking it down into achievable steps, and committing to those steps consistently. It's about building a vision so clear that distractions fall away. It's about refusing to drift when you can direct. So today I challenge you, don't let life happen to you. Take the pen and write your financial story. Design your future with intention. Wealth is waiting for those who plan for it. Money is a tool, not a taskmaster. Too many people fall into the trap of letting money control their lives, their emotions, and their decisions. But the truth is, you are the steward of your money, not its slave. You must remind yourself daily that money is here to serve your goals, your dreams, and your freedom, not the other way around. I've met countless folks who work themselves into exhaustion, trapped in a cycle of chasing paychecks, bills, and debts. Their emotions swing with every financial twist: fear when the bills pile up, greed when the paycheck hits, anxiety when investments fluctuate. But this kind of emotional roller coaster drains your energy and clouds your judgment. The wealthy understand a simple truth. Money is a servant that must be managed with strategy, discipline, and calm. They don't let their feelings dictate how they spend, save, or invest. Instead, they build systems and plans that keep money working for them, even when the market or life gets turbulent. Think of money like a loyal employee. You're the boss. Your job is to give clear instructions, budgets, investments, savings, goals, and then hold that employee accountable. When emotions rise, step back and ask, am I making this decision from strategy or from impulse? By reminding yourself daily that you are the steward of your money, you reclaim control. Your financial life becomes a reflection of wise leadership, not chaotic reaction. Make your strategy the boss, not your emotions. This mindset shift is the foundation of lasting wealth. As we come to the close of this conversation, remember this: wealth is never just about the numbers in your bank account. It is the reflection of your mindset, your habits, and your daily choices. The way you think about money will shape the way money flows into your life. You must become the master of your finances, not their servant. Wealth begins in your mind long before it appears in your wallet. The journey to financial freedom is paved with discipline, patience, and purpose. It is not about chasing quick wins or flashy lifestyles. It is about building solid foundations day by day, habit by habit. Save before you spend. Invest while others hesitate. Learn continuously while others rest. Build systems that work for you even when you sleep. These are the rituals that separate the wealthy from the rest. You hold the power to change your financial destiny, but it requires intention. Ask yourself every morning, what one decision can I make today that moves me closer to financial independence? Live with purpose. Design your future instead of drifting through it. Surround yourself with those who inspire growth and hold you accountable to higher standards. And as you build, never forget the importance of generosity. Giving is not just charity. It is a mindset of abundance that keeps the flow of wealth alive. When you give wisely and with gratitude, you attract more opportunities and blessings into your life. So, here is my call to action. Begin today. Start with small, consistent steps. Track your spending. Save a little more, learn a little more, and invest a little more. Build your financial journal. Read a page of wisdom daily. Question every expense. Is this building equity or draining it? Build the habit of delayed gratification. Take control of your money instead of letting it control you. Remember, wealth is not an accident. It is a strategy. It is a daily ritual, and it is yours to create. Now go and build the life you deserve.